Good evening. Today we are going to see the theory part which are related with welded plate girder. Now we are in very short. In short, these steps which we have to follow in plate girder are in this video. Now, actually, what is plate girder? So here I have mentioned it is very clearly that is welded plate girder means connection we have welded. Connection we have welded. Now when we will go with this welded plate girder, when my span is large or my bending moment is large. When we have bending moment large, when we have load intensity heavy, load intensity heavy, so that bending moment is large, though span is smaller one. So two cases we have to consider when span is large and bending moment is large. Now when span is large, our self weight will increase, and therefore again we are going to get bending moment is large. Now then, why welded plate girder? That is most important one. Why welded plate girder? Because if you will go to built up sections, then what will happen? Your thickness of plates on flange, thickness of plates on flange increases, and which will increase again our self weight, and then bending moment due to dead load again increases. So that what we are doing over here, we are going to shift flange plates away from neutral axis. Flange plates away from neutral axis, and due to that what happened? So due to this, your value of I increases, or I can say value of ZP increases, and ultimately this will increase moment of resistance. Because if you will see this, so we have this will be I section, and what will be my ZP value? So if I will write ZP value, that we will see when we will go to that step. So now first we should be very careful with this when we have to go for welded plate girder. And welded plate girder, because we are using only plates, and these plates are connected by welded connection, so this is welded plate girder. Now same this member is again we have flexural member, and so steps we have near about same which were we are using for beams or for gantry girder. So first we have load calculations. We have to calculate self weight of plate girder, so total load upon 200, and then we have to find factorial load. If we have concentrated load, then we have to multiply it also 1.5. If we are UDL, we have to multiply it also by 1.5. Now once we are with this loading, then we have to go for shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. You may draw it or may not draw it, but we have to calculate value of maximum shear force, and maximum bending moment. Then after this, we have to go for a dimension of web plate, because there we are going to find out value of ZP. So here we are going to directly go to the dimension of web plate, and we have one formula. Different books are given different formulas. Here we are going to see one formula. Before that, we have this clause number 8.6, in which they have given design of beams and plate girders with solid webs and minimum web thickness shall satisfy the following requirements. So these are the requirements which are serviceability requirement. So we have first, when only transverse stiffeners are provided, then we have this value d by tw should be less than or equal to 200. Now you may think, what is a part? So a part we have d by tw less than or equal to 67, and we will say no stiffeners required. And then in that case, we are with beams or built up beams. and stiffeners are not required, web is not going to buckle. When we have to go for the stiffeners, when my web will buckle, and for that when these criteria are given. So when we will provide only transverse stiffeners are provided, and in webs connected to flanges along both longitudinal edges. Means if I will draw welded plate girder, so this is my top flange, then we have bottom flange, and then in between we have web. And in that case, when we are going to provide these stiffeners at a certain distance in the longitudinal direction, then we are going to say that stiffeners are transverse stiffeners. There we are only with transverse stiffeners. Mm. Then second we have, that is when transverse stiffeners and longitudinal stiffeners at one only are provided 0.2d from compression flange. Means if I will draw this I section or welded plate girder, then we have not I section. So we have this as plate girder. This is seen as I, but if we will say, then we will say this as rolled section. So that is not rolled section. And now in this we can have first stiffener which will be at 0.2d. So I can draw over here. So this we have 0.2d from compression flange. Then we have this criteria d by tw, that will be less than or equal to 250 and it should be greater than 200. Then fourth criteria, so d by tw, that should be less than or equal to 400, and that is epsilon w, epsilon value we know, and that is d by d by tw when the second longitudinal stiffener located at neutral axis. So we have second at neutral axis. Neutral axis. And if we have this also, then we have d by tw less than or equal to 400. So we have these criteria to decide the dimensions of web plate. Now you may think, then how we will use this? So now you can see we have formula, that is d equal to mk upon fy to the power 1 by 3. Or I can write it as cube root of mk upon fy. And then we can have m maximum bending moment, which we have calculated in step number 2, k d by tw, and that d by tw we have, that is, if no stiffeners are provided, then d by tw less than or equal to 67. If only vertical stiffness, we have seen b part where we have less than or equal to 200. Then if vertical and transverse stiffener at 0.2d, then we have seen value should be between 200 to 250. And when we have another stiffener that is at neutral axis, and we have that is 250 greater than or equal to, sorry, d by tw between 250 to 400. So we have to actually go with these different stiffeners we have to consider, and accordingly we have to solve this. So actually this will be at neutral axis, means I can say this is 0.5d. So likewise, we have to go for this. So these clause numbers you have to keep in mind actually. That is 8.6. And then we have, if d by tw greater than 400, this is most important, then change the dimensions. Change the dimensions. This will be my step number 3. Step number 4, we have to design, or we have to decide the dimensions of flange plate. And for this, when only flange plates will resist bending moment. Already in beams we have seen, we are going to say in beams already, or in flexural member we know bending moment resisted by flanges and web will resist shear. These are assumptions, and that assumption we are going to consider over here while designing the flange plates. And then we have md, that is beta b zp fy upon gamma mo, assuming section at least semi compact, and then we have beta b actually. So this will be at least compact, not we are saying semi compact. And then we have beta b, that is equal to 1. And then we will get zp, that is equal to af into d, and that is md gamma mo upon fy. Now how this comes, af into d, So now we can have this as flange plate. AF will be the area of this flange plate. Then I have another flange plate, same area, and this we have actually we are considering this distance, center to center distance, we are considering it as D. Actually, that is depth of web, but as thickness we know, so we are assuming this value. And then we have ZP, that is on from tension side and from compression side. So we have 2 times A into area, we have AF into distance between center of flange to the plastic neutral axis, because equal area axis, this is plastic neutral axis means equal area axis, and then we have this will be D by 2, so we have into D by 2, and therefore this D 2 gets cancelled, and we have value of ZP that is equal to AF into D, and that will be MD gamma MO upon FY. Now BF generally taken as 0.3D, and D we have depth of flange plate. This will be fourth step. Fifth step, now actual we will calculate moment capacity. This I section we have considered D depth of the flange, BF width of flange, TW thickness of web, TF thickness of flange. What will be ZP? First we will consider this bottom flange, you can see, and for this bottom flange we have to take moment about center, and then we have this will be BF into TF, and what will be this distance? DF by 2 plus TF by 2. So you can see this. So I have considered this total depth as D. So if we will take this as total D, then we have D minus TF. So BF into TF, and then we have D minus TF by 2. So we are going to consider D minus TF by 2, and that will be we have that is ZP due to one side flange. Or if you will consider this as D, then I can write it as, instead of this, you can write it as D plus TF by 2 also. This is D half, sorry, D by 2 plus TF by 2. So this distance till center. Now they have considered D minus TF by 2 means what? So what will be this distance? Total we have D by 2, and then we have this distance we have to subtract, which will be T by 2, and then what we will get? D by 2 minus T by 2, and that we will get D minus, that is TF, D minus TF by 2, and that will be 2 times because we have flange on our other side also, plus due to web exact we are going to consider TW into D by 2. So first we have taken this, and we have D by 4 because this total is D. So from center of this to plastic neutral axis we have D by 4, and that is 2 times we have another side also, and then we have this will be ZP value. So once we know moment resistance, then we will go shear resistance of web, and we have to use clause number given on page number 60, and by using this clause we are going to calculate value of VCR, and that is by using AV into tau B. Tau B we are going to find out likewise, for which we require value of tau CR, from which we will get lambda W, and from lambda W we will get value that is of tau B, and from this we will get value of VCR. Then connection of flange plate to web plate. So we have this flange plate to web plate connection. So we have, this will be my flange, and then we are interested with this connection. So that is junction of flange and web. So let us, we have UDL on this, W kilonewton per meter, horizontal shear. Now this is formula of shear, we know we have VA y bar upon IB, and this is in Newton per mm square. We have taken this as tau h equal to tau into B, and which is equal to VA y bar upon I. B we have taken on this side, and this value again we will get kilonewton per meter, or we can say Newton per millimeter, because this we can write it as Newton per millimeter. And then we are going to find out value that is resultant value. So this value actually I have from the last problem, so this need not require to consider. So resultant we have tau h square plus tau v square upon tau v square, root of this, and from this tau we have to find out, that is length of weld, length, thickness of weld. Means we have to design weld for this value of shear force per millimeter length. Then we have curtailment of flange plate. Why we will go for curtailment now? This is most important. Now, if we will see the bending moment diagram, if I will consider any beam, and if we have UDL on this, then what will happen? So we are going to get this actually bending moment diagram in this fashion. So we have likewise. So as you will go towards the support, your bending moment reduces. So required thickness of flange reduces. So required thickness of flange reduces. And therefore, for most economical condition or for most economical section, we can reduce thickness of the flange towards support. Now you may say, so here value is 0, we need not require, but we have to check this outstanding of element, and this outstanding we should have minimum these values, that is for web and that is for flange. Sorry, for flange we have to follow this, that is welded section B by TF 8.4, 9.4, 13.6. So we have this value, plastic, compact and semi-compact. So this criteria should be satisfied. So, and accordingly we have to reduce the thickness. And why reduction? Because bending moment reduces, so requirement of thickness of flange also reduces. Then we can have design of bearing stiffener. So we have to use clause number 8.7.5, and by using this formula we have to design the load bearing stiffener. You can see this AQ FYD upon 0.8 gamma MY, and that should be greater than or equal to reaction. So you can see this area required we have calculated, and here this is mentioned what will be outstand. It should be between 14 TQ to 20 TQ. TQ is thickness of stiffener, and then we have AQ BQ into TQ, and BQ we have to take it as 14 TQ, so it goes to 14 TQ square, and we have to equate it with this area, and from which we are going to get thickness of the plate, then we can find width also. So likewise we have to design the bearing stiffener, and we have to see whatever bearing stiffener we are going to provide, their capacity or their resistance is greater than the reaction whichever we have in beams at supports. Then we have design of intermediate stiffeners. These we are going to provide according to 8.7.2.4, and that I, that is moment of inertia, that should be 1.5 d cube t cube upon c square if my value of c by d is less than root 2. And if we have value that is greater than root 2, then we have another criteria that is given in 8.7.2.4. And then we have connection of intermediate stiffener to web, and we have to use for this clause number 8.7.2.6, and we have TW square upon 5BS, that will be my value of shear stress per millimeter length. And for this value of shear stress per millimeter length, as we have calculated tau r when we will have connection between web and flange, in the same way we have this value tau Newton per millimeter, and for this one we have to design the weld length and thickness for this connection between stiffener to web. So we have these steps. Actually we have again, that is for horizontal stiffeners at neutral axis and at point 2D, but that we have not considered over here. So these are the theory part which we require when we will go to analyze welded plate girder. So we will stop here only. Thank you.